It's story time again. This Whole Life listeners, welcome back. Welcome back. It's great to be with you today, and it's great to be with you, Vonda Tiede, LMFT. Welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Good. You have become one of the stalwarts of this Whole Life's guest repertoire. So thank you for your generosity, for your wisdom. You obviously are a practicing and very experienced licensed marriage and family therapist. Let's go back a little while. Let's go back a spell. Why this? Of all the wonderful things that you could do that the Lord has called you to, why this particular path for you? What got you into therapy?
When I think back to just my personality and understanding myself, the thing that stands out to me about wanting to be a therapist was in 7th grade, I was in home ec. And for anybody that doesn't have home ec anymore, that's home economics, where you sew and you cook and you learn these things. And so with your small group, you had to agree on what you wanted to cook that week and plan for it and make a list. And it was sort of a team building and also cooking, I guess.
Yep.
And my group of girls that I was in, there was maybe 3 to 4 of us, and we could not agree on what we wanted to cook. And this was a really big decision. And
what were some of the options? What were you disagreeing over? Do you remember?
Well, I remember that I wanted to make tacos. And I don't know what they wanted to make because all I cared about is I wanted to make tacos. And so we were just not agreeing. And I just remember thinking, I know there is a school counselor here and I've never known about what they do, but I think it sounds good. And I think we maybe need to go to that for this discussion.
That's escalating to the right authority. That's great. Yep.
And so I said, guys, I'm going to go talk to the teacher. We need to go to the counselor. And so they're like, okay, they don't care.
Sure.
And I went to our teacher and I remember she had really black hair. And I said, we really can't decide. And so I think we need to go see the counselor. I really think this is important. And she's like, I remember her face just looking like a little dubious, a little unsure. Like,
what's the angle here?
Yes. We weren't yelling. We weren't fighting. We had many weeks of home ec. We could make tacos. We could probably make lots of things.
Sure.
But I said, no, I really do. She said, okay, well, go on then. And the 3 or 4 of us went down to his office. I can't remember his name. And we sat down and he said, well, what's the problem? And I said, we just cannot agree. And I want to make tacos and they want to make whatever they wanted to make. And he sat and he listened. And then after a little pause, he said, well, sounds like you could compromise. I said, that's a great idea. That's what we'll do. And it was just, obviously by 7th grade, I had compromised in my life.
Sure.
On something. And this was not a big deal. We could make tacos one week and something else the next week. But there was just this draw in me because relationships were so important to me. And when I look back at all the relationships, it just was like flowing out of me. Relationship. And I think my curiosity just was there to, what would this be like? To ask this person who must know something because he's in this job. What would it be like to ask that person for help?
Yeah.
And it really just sparked me on from there. My first career ended up being teaching piano and violin.
Yeah.
And many of my students would say, well, it's not really a piano lesson without a little bit of therapy. And I did not even realize that was happening. I just thought I was loving people.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm like, how was your day at school? And they would tell me some drama and I'd say, oh my goodness, what about this? And it would be short. It was 3 minutes of counseling at that point. But I realized people would, ask me for not just advice, but ask me to hear them really is really what it came down to.
Yeah.
And just that I was perceived that way a lot from people. And I just really felt blessed that God was calling me to something around that. And so I say this story with, some humor and perhaps some pride, and I hope it isn't unhealthy pride.
Yeah.
I really, truly feel so blessed that God called me to this field. One more addition to that, my grandma, who is still with us, she's 102.
Wow.
And I've been close to her since I was little and we lived close. So I was able to see her a lot. And when I was probably a teenager and asking her about her life and her family and things, she was vulnerable one day and said, the only people I've ever really felt really felt love from. I know my daughters love me. I know my husband loved me, but I've only really, really felt love from you and one of your cousins. And I was floored with that.
Yeah.
Because that was from when I was very, very young. And again, Lord, help me not sound prideful. It is Christ in me.
Yeah.
It is not about me. It is
Right.
Christ in me. Because I love people and I want people to get healing and I love relationship. And of course, our greatest relationship was with the Lord. But he has come for us to have relationships with each other.
Yeah.
And so this work is just such a privilege for me. And I just look at all the ways, and I could go on, which I won't, all the ways that the Lord has prepared me for it over many years, over lots of experiences, and just confirm that call.
Yeah.
And so thanks for asking.
That's
it's
beautiful.
fun to share.
Oh, absolutely.
Super
Thanks for
fun to share
sharing.
that
Yeah.
story.
Well, it's such there are genuine spiritual gifts of all varieties, but the call to communion, relationship. So, all of us have a natural, even supernatural call to communion.
Sure.
No one is
Of course.
created to be in isolation. But I would say some people, sounds like yourself, have like an even stronger predisposition to be attentive to things like unity, harmony, communion, connection, and not only wanting that, in kind of a like lighthearted way in your
Sure.
home ec class, but being the kind of person who can then step into those positions to really help other people foster that too, and to be a source of healing and communion in families and relationships and couples. It's a great gift, first of all, and secondly, I love the imagining what that day was like for that particular counselor at your school.
Yes.
Where like I'm not a school counselor. Actually, my brother is, so he knows.
Okay.
In the day of a school counselor, especially in middle school, right?
Yeah.
Lots of probably sorting through behavior problems. I don't know what was in line at that time in terms of, educational plans for mental health accommodations, things
Sure.
like that, but probably something like that, in a day of like a lot of probably challenging elements of the counseling in a school setting world. Here come these sweet little girls asking, can you help us agree on what to make in home ec? And I love your sincerity of bringing that to him, and not as a joke, like really, I want to be connected. I don't want this to tear us apart.
Yes.
And I want to go through this in a healthy way. And sounds like he was equally sincere in his ability to receive, to listen, to respond, and to provide some guidance without brushing aside. The content was maybe a little bit trivial, but the motivation
Sure.
was really beautiful and good.
Yeah.
I love it's probably a bright light in his day that day.
Oh, Pat, thank you so much for that perspective. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm sure this will not be the last time on This Whole Life, but thanks for sharing your story with us, Vonda. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Pat. God bless you.
You too.